Good morning. Welcome to the footballtradingprofits.com review preview video. Not much going on last night, so I left members to their own devices and let's see what happened. Probably too tough for me to call this one. Man City and Aston Villa, two very much informed sides at this stage of the season. Late lay the draw, anybody? Was the need for 3 points enough to suggest for you that these two would be looking for a win? Take 3 away from City. They're breaking into the 60-point barrier, which is crucial for maintaining the Champions League football. 50 plus is where the Europa Conference League is. So that's a crucial win yesterday. Nottingham Forest won't be too hindered, but they are bringing Chelsea and Arsenal within striking distance to take away their Champions League dreams. So Nottingham Forest are going to have to be a little wary. It's an unknown position for them, unless you're Brian Clough, of course. Nantes and PSG, say it along with me, teams that don't need to win rarely do. By far the better side on paper. But Nantes clinging to dear life. PSG, job done already. Dead rubber. Got to be very, very careful with dead rubbers. Nantes, well, that point could be crucial at the end of the season. It's a win and a draw away from 16th place. 4 points. A lot more comfortable than 3 points, I suppose, if you're a Nantes fan. So, an equaliser. Not sure I would have taken on a PSG lead, but if you're following the fact that teams like this have done the job already, Birmingham, PSG, and they're just mentally switched off. It's just subconscious for the players. They know that the hunger's not there for 3 points anymore. It's not required. Why are we busting a gut? We're looking forward to our summer in Bognor Regis. Derry and Sligo. Derry have impressed early season, particularly when they're these kind of odds. They have tended to deliver. Was it all done first half or second? It was all done first half with Mullen, the drummer from U2, opening the scoring. And Jack White from the White Stripes getting 2 goals there. So very much a musical affair at Derry City yesterday. Valencia and Espanyol. Valencia's home form should have had you interested in them at least. And that would have been the case with Espanyol scoring first. So possible angle there. Pre-match odds on favourite. Pretty much good at home. You can see there. Ticking away nicely. And the fact they kept 2 consecutive 1-0 wins means they might cap Espanyol at a single goal. So a possible insurance play there on Valencia yesterday. Barcelona just crossing the line against Mallorca, who are having an exceptional season. Could have done with points themselves, Mallorca, with European ambitions. You can see them in 7th place, just clinging on. A win for them would have kept them where they were, but they've got to break into the 50-point barrier if they've got any degree of safety for the European place, with Sociedad, Vallecano, Osasuna, Getafe and Espanyol themselves. And Valencia could have done with a win, those two. Waiting in the wings for Mallorca to start slipping, which they are doing. On to today, and it's Arsenal against Crystal Palace. London derby, as you know very well. And Crystal Palace are coming off the back of a couple of heavy tonkings. And you don't want to be coming off the back of a heavy tonking when Arsenal have just won 4-0. 5-5 and sudden lurch towards defensive strength. See that a lot. You've had a tonking, you've had a second tonking. Sudden lurch to being over defensively. So we might see that from Palace today. They might keep Arsenal out 20, 25 minutes. We will see. Motivating factors. Arsenal cannot catch Liverpool, I don't think. Crystal Palace starting to end in mid-table mediocrity for Palace. Getting away with it this season because the bottom 3 are so poor. So for me, this is lacking any motivating factor for Crystal Palace, certainly. Arsenal will stay second regardless of the result today. Manchester City are catching them up, but they've played a game more. Liverpool qualified for the Champions League, so it doesn't mean they're title winners yet. And in Italian Serie A, finished Veikkausliiga, starting our season. This is our summer league. I would make an exception and trade these two, SJK and KUPS, if they concede first. Likely to be two of the top three this season in the Veikkausliiga. And in Italian Serie A, Cagliari, Fiorentina. Let's look at each match in turn, which will highlight their standings. Fiorentina knocking on the door of European football. A win today takes them within a point of Roma. And Cagliari, for their sins, are 5 points above the relegation zone. Will remain above the relegation zone regardless of what happens today. But that's just a little bit too close. And given the fact that amongst all the sides, 14th and lower, only 3 wins amongst that lot. Just going to have to be a little careful, Cagliari, in case this lot go on a winning streak. Venezia, you can say, unbeaten in 3. So, interesting match. I don't have a strong opinion. Neither does the market. 2.45 the favourite. Genoa and Lazio. Let's have a look at the standings for these two. Motivating factors, carrot and stick. Plenty for Lazio. Lazio with a win today could go into the Conference League places, and more importantly for Lazio fans, dump Roma out of the top 6. So that's huge motivating. Take on your rivals. Genoa, again, mid-table mediocrity for Genoa this season. 14 points above the relegation zone. Likely to be safe now. I can't see a motivating factor for Genoa. We can just see how many matches are remaining. We've got to be mindful of the maths at this stage of the season. If you change this to Serie A, if it will allow me. Excuse me. So change this to Serie A. Just give you an indicator of the amount of matches left this season. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 threes are 15. A possible 15 points available for Lazio and Genoa. So even with 15 points, if we're looking at the absolute ideals, that's 54 points, and they still won't be able to make Europe. So got to be very careful of sides like Genoa, Birmingham. Their season is already done. Paris Saint-Germain yesterday, their season is already run. Lazio have the greater motivation for me today. So I would be looking firmly at this stage of the season for them to do something. Parma against Juve. Parma, let's have a look at where they are in the standings. The old lady are 5th. They can upgrade to Champions League football with a win today. Now that's huge motivation, considering everybody around them in the top 6 has all played the game more than Juve. So this is a crucial match for them to get 3 points. Parma, again, grateful that the bottom 3 are so poor. They're 3 points above them, putting together a lot of Ds. That is discouraging for the manager because you're not losing, but you're only gaining 1 point. 0-0 last match against Fiorentina might be the setup for Parma today against the old lady. Going through an unbeaten run of 3, the old lady at the moment, but that draw sequence for Parma does suggest that they are vulnerable if scoring first. Certainly a sequence I would be laying late on tonight if I see a draw late on. Points are crucial. More crucial for Juve. It's that carrot of Champions League football with a win today. But Parma have been stubborn at this stage of the season. They're picking up points to keep themselves above the relegation zone. Torino. I wouldn't be buying a season ticket for Torino. It's a bit of a Tony Pulis snore fest. 1-0s, 0-1s, etc. Looking at the standings for Torino and Udinese. Mid-table mediocrity for these two. 17 points shy of a top 6 berth and 15 points above the relegation zone. 17 points shy and 15 points above the relegation zone. How many matches left this season? I think we know the answer. We do our Carol Vorderman maths. upgrade to Rachel Riley, of course, maths. That would be even better. So I just lost my breath there thinking of Rachel Riley. Let me just get back. Okay. So with 15 and 17 points, the keys differences between European and relegation for these two, or for Torino at least. You can see 5 matches remaining. It looks season over for Torino. 5 matches remain. It's 55 points. They cannot, if winning all remaining matches, break into the top 6. Similar story for Udinese, but they must end a pitiful run of 4 consecutive defeats. 15 points above the relegation with 15 available. It's job done, isn't it? Because goal difference as well. So it's a dead rubber for these two. You've got to be so careful. Okay? They're not gaining anything unless you factor in points for league position. Groningen against Heracles, just give that a look in the standings as ever at this stage of the season. Groningen and Heracles. Groningen 13th and 8 points above the relegation zone. Heracles zooming up 35. That's how tight it is. Wow, the difference between them and them is just 3 points. But they're on the cusp of European football, Heracles. For a newly promoted side a couple of seasons ago, that is going to be a hell of a carrot for Heracles. So watch out for a solid performance from them today. Possible solid performance. In La Liga. And don't forget the Allsvenskan, but that's just a watching brief at this stage of the season. It's just beginning. So Atletico Bilbao dismantled Rangers in Europe. One of my favourite sides as far as reliability is concerned. How are they getting on today? Champions League football, they'll remain fourth today, regardless of what happens. Atletico Bilbao. But they've got to be mindful of Real Betis. They've got a 6-point gap to them. They want to keep Champions League football, Athletic. Las Palmas are just above the relegation zone. 2 consecutive wins tells you where their mind is at the moment. 1-0 against Atletico Madrid could be a season changer. Absolute season changer, because you're not expected to get 3 points. So this is a Brucey bonus for Las Palmas, moving up to 35 with a win today. So this is not a gimme for Atletico Bilbao, but they are by far the better side of the two. And were this an ordinary part of the season, I would be solidly with the home team, as indeed the market is quite clearly. Celta Vigo and Villarreal, the Yellow Submarine, didn't get a win last match at 2-2. They had 2 goals disallowed in the second half. So that betrays for us that they still have work to do, Villarreal. And indeed they do. Real Betis breathing down their necks for that Champions League spot. A win today will just help cement 5th place with matches running out for Betis and Mallorca. Celta Vigo are looking to upgrade to the Europa League with a win today against Mallorca. They're likely to be vying for that 7th place with everyone else in 50 plus points. So a little bit to be playing for today for the Yellow Submarine. You can see they were very keen on the win with that 2-2 last match. And to talk about keen on the win, Celta Vigo were leading 1-3 against Barcelona last match as well. But this is the one we lost our bit of cash on, because we took on this 2-2. Goal disallowed. Goal disallowed. That is an absolute gutter. Etta Eyong coming on. And Etta Eyong nearly delivering for us. Etta Eyong nearly on my Christmas card list of that goal stood. Alaves and Real Sociedad 2.45, the favourite, tells you that the market finds this one tough to call. Why? Well, motivation is still there for both teams. I would be certainly taking on that draw today. Look at the carrot. It's not just Conference League football. It's Europa League football with a win today. Dependent on other results, of course. Alaves. Well, it's an easy decision that they have to make. They have to win. And if they win, they bring Girona into the equation. That's weird to see Girona down here. They were in the Champions League last season. Manchester City offshoot. So momentum Huge for both of these two sides, which is exactly what I want to see at this stage of the season. The carrot for both of these two, regardless of what that says, in-play stats and a lay of any draw. Getafe and Real Madrid, well, with Barcelona winning 1-0 yesterday, Real Madrid are going to have to pull their fingers out. They're all over the shop, but they will importantly break into the 70-point barrier with a win, and they have to. 72 points with a win. They've got to stay on Barcelona's coattails. Guaranteed Champions League football this season. Don't forget they've got the Copa del Rey, I think, final at the weekend against you-know-who. Is that going to suggest any changes? They're not going to be changing league position today. Or with 2 consecutive defeats, they won't be changing league position. It's cemented Champions League football. That's what they're after. Just the title now. So they need to keep winning. That L's probably given the title to Barcelona. Getafe themselves, where were they in the league standings? They're 12th with 8th place on 43. That's doable. A win today takes them to 42 and just on the cusp of European football. Getafe, if they're interested, they are still only 8 points shy of the relegation zone as well. So looking in both directions. Allsvenskan, a little bit too early in the season, but we've got 3 odds-on favourites, 2 consecutive odds-on favourites at home. Elfsborg started scoring second half last match. Might be worthy of your attention. Malmo and Hammarby, this looks a tough nut to crack. Malmo should be in the contention for the title. But 2.63 the favourite suggests it's a toughie for the market. Before I turn into Bonnie Tyler with my throat issues, let me just have a look at the tennis from yesterday. Retrospective trading costs you no money. While these matches are there, you can go all the way back to a week ago. Just check out, would I be playing qualifiers? Ask yourself first. Probably I wouldn't be playing qualifiers. But let's just look at our first set. Botek van der Zandschulp winning the second set there. So that's something of potential. 1.98 the favourite. Well, sorry, 1.83 the favourite. Normally suggests a 3-setter, but I don't know these players. Their rank, they might be too high ranked. Altmaier, 1.54, did win the first set. So no real trading angle there for me. Lost. Montero won the first set comfortably. But then, look at this Quinn. He could be someone worth watching. Because if you're beating a South American on clay, that's going to be a huge booster. Old Foggy, Fabio Fognini, good win. 1.55. And in the ladies yesterday, again, this is the first potential banana skin. 37th against 71st. This is a problem with the women's game. I don't know enough about them, so I have to trust the market. And starting off, Avanesian with 3 break points. And she got 2 of her first 3 service games broken. And it was all downhill from there. You can have a look at the Achilles heels throughout the match. Tend to be, let's have a look. First service 1, 2/3, pretty good. But it's all about, probably here is where she's vulnerable. Second return points 1. So if on your opponent's second serve, could be layable, couldn't she? Break points converted. That's something to think about in the future as well for Avanesian. An inability to convert break points. So she might be gettable if she has a break point. So little angles like that. I'm learning slowly about in-play. Don't forget this goes in-play as well. In-play stats. Like the football, we have to crack the in-play stats, and that could be the angle in to making a profit. Naomi Osaka, not very reliable, but delivering. Not very reliable, as in flaky mentally, is what I'm trying to get across there. Sticking your money on her, it's a little difficult to trust. P. Stearns against Birrell, losing the first set, winning the next 2. So it's the same as a football team conceding the first goal and then winning, scoring the equaliser. So qualifiers again, I'm not too keen on the qualifiers myself. Unless you find somebody you know who needs a win. So that's it for me today. I'm not sure if I'll be up and about. We'll have a look. I do prefer to have more matches under my belt if I'm staying up this late. London Derby, I'm unlikely to be playing Arsenal Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace is going to be flooding that defence after that 10-goal concession. Viscountliga looks eminently readable today. Serie A looks very tough on paper. You can see 3 of these favourites are 2.25 plus. So that makes it in-play stats based this evening. Spanish La Liga as well. Atletico Bilbao, Las Palmas stand out. Real Madrid must win. Plenty of motivating factors. And we've got our secondary leagues as well. So I'll decide a bit later whether I'm doing a live stream or not. I'm certainly going to be, not a live stream, but a Telegram session. I am going to be up for the Finnish Viscountliga for you from 4 o'clock and see where we go from there. But again, it's a small sample of matches. It's really for the elite leagues. There's only 8 matches. It should be something you can cope with admirably yourself at this stage of the season. And you do really have to practice on your own at times, just to embed the techniques, your ability to read in-play stats, etc. Have a great day. I might see members a little bit later on. I will confirm that on Telegram for you. Looks another interesting points-packed evening.